We gotta watch that Marco Rubio guy, right? We gotta watch that Marco Rubio guy, right? Like, there's this mindset. There's this mindset that people have that is very interesting to me. I don't know if y'all notice it or recognize it. But it's this, America has to be on top, right? You can't be equal with your neighbor, right? He was saying something about Brazil doing trade with their own money and making a secondary economy. This is a guy that is in Trump's ear. And not to forget this though, guys. Not to say this is anything about Cubans or whatever, but he came from Cuba, which is a dictatorship, which was usurped by Castro from Chavez. So when you think about all of these things and you see this guy sitting next to the president, telling what the president what to do, talking about hegemonies, being a hegemony, going into Venezuela because Venezuela had intelligence agencies there, intelligence there. Now you want to, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't see a problem with BRICS wanting to do it by themselves. We messed everything up with our Federal Reserve and printing money. The world economies cannot be dependent upon one individual sole country, and then that sole country has an independent governing body for monetary policy. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like we don't give enough credit where credit is due, as if we didn't put ourselves in this situation. Like, one thing I always think about is accountability. Accountability. And I think that is one of the main problems with white people to black people. You're not accountable for what you did, or your ancestors did, or whatever. And what that means is you're not acknowledging it. You're gloating about it. You're not acknowledging it. You're gloating about it. Right? You're not saying this was wrong for stealing your national name, your identity, subjecting you, stealing. Because now they're saying, say her name, say her name. You just stole that. You just stole that. And you expect black people to be next to you while you steal. Music, stolen. Every genre, stolen. I even think Hollywood, for the lack of better, like, the news press, the press, stolen. Technology, stolen. And when I say stolen, meaning this person makes it, then they take it and abuse it and change it and then abuse others. This is what happens. So, watching Marco Rubio do all this, say all these things, and then play like he's in the shadows. Sorry. I see. We could play we could play these games all day if y'all want. I'm cool. I'm ready. I'm ready to play these games. But you're not gonna lie to me. You're just not. I was like, man, a lot of what Trump is doing is illogical But when you have somebody fake around you, you're gonna do a lot of illogical stuff because they know to lie, cheat, and steal to make you think that they're on your side when they're not. So,
Republican or Democrat, they have talking points to get elected. Property taxes is almost the number one talking point. They are using the things that this people most to get elected. The party's flow. That's all they're doing. It's tyranny. It's sedition. It needs to stop before more people get hurt. Mitch, can you explain this debauchery here, the debt here?
heading to Home Depot, man. Gotta get some straps. Gotta get a few things to crate up this machine. Yeah, I think being socially aware and paying attention to the different things happening in America is essential to getting out of the situation that we're in. Right? Like getting rid of property tax, going back to gold. These are the things that the American people have to do. This isn't the things that the government has to do, but they'll do it as long as you support it. Getting corporations out of buying property, land. Like Bill Gates shouldn't be the top owner of land. China shouldn't be the top owner of land. Like those things shouldn't be happening. Period. It ain't even no debate about it. Like, how would they feel if you went over there buying farmland and you was growing food over there? How would they feel? Especially if you live over here. Like, you're not part of that whole economic system, so why would they allow it? It's the same thing as Russia allowing Europe to come to their borders. Why would you allow that? You know what I mean? Like, it's about being objective and being able to see both sides and not getting bogged down by your own perspective of the situation. when you get bogged down by your own perspective of the situation, that's when you lose the argument, because you're not able to adjust for the perspectives that you didn't see that could help your cause. That's it. You need to be able to objectively look at things that can help your cause. If you can't do that, your whole perspective is whack. Facts. So I like how people try to pretend as if they're well aware of the situation, they can see the situation, they know the situation, but in reality, you really don't. In reality, you really can't see if you are not objective about the information and the amount of information that you're receiving. If you can't assess the intel that you're getting, you're not able to make the right decisions. And that's one of the problems with religious folks, right? They're not objective about their own religious beliefs, right? Like, I'll give you an example. Jesus. The eating the bones and the flesh and the wine and the blood. That's vampire stuff. That's cannibal stuff. Right? But if they were taking it as a symbolic thing and not a traditional thing, a tradition, meaning they're traditionally doing something that was said to do, they're not objectively looking at it as a symbolic thing, meaning the book is the flesh and the words is the blood that gives you life. Or taking other religions and seeing how, all the Israelites and the people of those times formulated or came up with the traditions and the traditions and the culture that they did and how they fed from each other. You telling me China's not feeding off of America? You telling me America's not feeding off of China? Even if we're not doing it blatantly, right? They make foldable phones in China, right? They made a trifold in China. They made electric cars in China, and Japan and Korea and all that stuff. You telling me that we're not? We made things that they took over there. High rises and big tall buildings, big bedrooms, all this shit. You telling me they didn't take that stuff from here? Like, come on, like sometimes our subjectivity block us from objectivity, and that's a big fucking problem. That's a big fucking problem. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd rather be objective about what's going on, and I'd rather be wrong about what I think, because being wrong and admitting you're wrong through accountability allows you to grow and become better. That's it. So we can pretend as if that's not what we're doing here, but that is what we're doing here. So I don't know, man. I just want everybody to be able to look at the world objectively. And yeah, some things Trump is doing is crazy from a subjective standpoint, right? And he may not be the most articulate person, but bro, do y'all want to be a third world country? Do y'all want to be beggars? Do y'all want to be one of the poorest nations on the planet, you're gonna have to crack some eggs, bro. Meaning, you're gonna have to make sure that you're able to have resources and goods and services that you control for yourself, right? And because we were asleep at the wheel, right? Meaning we were being passenger princesses for the last 50 years, we lost a lot of ground. We don't produce anything, we don't make nothing, right? We get everything from China, right? So then they create bricks to circumvent the dollar, and now you have a problem? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Then you flood the country with Europeans and Mexicans and people from South America that don't have the same ideology or culture as you, and you don't see a problem with that? This is why it's a good thing that Black Americans stay out of the protests, the fight that's going on. Because you gotta take a step back and assess. Sometimes you gotta assess. Being in the fight sometimes, you don't know what to do unless you've been in the fight mad times. I mean, of course, we were in the fight mad times, a long time. But this is a good time to assess what's going on. How is this beneficial for us? How is this beneficial for us in the long run? You know what I mean? How? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I think we'll figure it out. How is it China, maybe they're lying about their numbers. How is it China have 90% occupancy rate rates and 3% or lower homeless or poor? You have to ask yourself this stuff. You gotta ask yourself this stuff. How is this possible? You know? That's the key to the whole shit. That's the key to the whole shit, man. Home Depot, baby.